Well, the only thing I want to touch on is this idea of network effects. Now, I'm not going to go into long-winded details about it because we're going to be talking about it a lot over the next couple of months. But the idea is that um, stop thinking of technology as a sector. Technology is not just a sector that someone works in. Technology is affecting every industry that you're in, from agriculture to education to health to anything. And so, what happens with technology is that normally human beings are used to this type of linear growth. Even this cyclical growth. You can understand seasons. There are higher sales in Christmas and lower sales in summer. Let's say for toys or whatever it is. We're used to cyclicality or linearity, but human beings were not used to network effects. And network effects is this idea that the value of a network is proportional to the square root of the number of members of that network. And easy to understand with Facebook. One person on Facebook, not really worthwhile. 1,000 people on Facebook, worth more because more connections can happen. And a billion people on Facebook, now the party's really getting started. You can have a lot more connections that are happening between people. And so what you're going to see is that these charts that you're going to start looking at more and more now, they're going to start doing like this exponential asymptote. They're going to be like, they're going to go from traditional linear sine waves to really, you're going to have the sine wave, but really it's going to start ramping up. And interest in the field and money in that field is really going to be pouring in as AI starts to provide productivity, as technology starts to replace individual workers, and as the internet network that we have becomes more useful for more things than just looking up information for distributing actual productive things. You're going to see a huge boost in network effects, and so don't be, or rather, what you want to do is you want to make sure that somehow, some way, that in your life you are taking part in one of these network effects. Now, we talk about get some cryptocurrency because that allows you to see what a network effect can feel like. But you want to be looking at your business or yourself as an employee at your industry to go, are network effects in play in this industry? Now, I'll put in the comments an article that I shared with you, Peter, from I think it was Andreessen Horowitz, which goes into more detail about network effects. But you're looking for this. You want to make sure that you're in it, because if you're in an industry, if you're in a job that's taking advantage of network effects and you're buffeted against technology, like being replaced by technology and AI, then you can end up being, oh my God, so well placed. Really make a comfortable money, a comfortable living, and have a nice path ahead of you. But if you're not, you are getting ready to be replaced. You are going to be replaced eventually. I mean, being a lawyer was one of those jobs that people were like, or a doctor is one of those jobs that people are like, for sure, you get into this, you're guaranteed for life. Well, operations are going to be starting, diagnosis is going to be provided by AI, and more machines are going to be able to do those surgeries and test better. In law, you have, I mean, for goodness sakes, you have places where the justice system is decided by a software that is not even a lawyer. The person his profile is judged by a software. The details are judged by software, and the software says guilty or not guilty and sends the thing to a judge before you're ever in court. Right? So if you think, oh, I'm going to start myself as a paralegal, and then I'm going to become an associate, and then I'm going to become partner, like, you don't know what the future of law is going to be like.
I remember watching this news segment, and there was this banker lady who was like, I went to school to study this. I did years of school, came out, I worked into the job, and just all of a sudden, her job is gone because an algorithm can do my job better and faster and more efficiently. She goes, I never even imagined. I've heard about automation. I've heard about technology. I never even imagined my job could disappear literally overnight. Like there was like no warning. It was just, oh, we've replaced 50 of you with this software. People don't realize just how precarious the situation is. Andrew Yang brought this to the forefront in the 2020 presidential campaign when he talked about automation. Truck drivers, retail workers, and customer service agents, all of which are going to be replaced within the next 5-10 years.
Right.
Like you're sitting down
Not
Not
even that
even
long.
that long. You're sitting at your cubicle doing customer service. You're like, oh, okay, so and so Jennifer has been here for 20 years, and I'm not moving up in the company, but I can stay here for the rest of my life. No, that cubicle job is on its way out. I go into a McDonald's, I'm going to that machine more than I'm going to the person behind the counter. And going to a store now, especially after the pandemic, to buy clothes. Now I'm buying it online. I'm going onto Etsy. I'm having different experiences. Those jobs are going to be cut away super quick, and people don't realize what's coming down the pike, like what's happening. That's why uh, being aware of what's going on and getting yourself invested, taking an interest in what you're talking about here, the technologies and crypto space, the new things, the things that demonstrate network effects, the things that leverage your own ability to do more, and caring about the value of what you're offering is so important. You could have gone by without it before, but now it's going to be indispensable. There really is going to be a division between those who get this message and those who don't.
Yeah. So you have to be able to use the technology, and you have to be able to be creative. Like creative jobs are what's coming. I don't mean you have to be an artist or a musician or something like that. I'm talking about that the job. If your job is 50%, getting the mechanics of the thing done, and 50% being creative and how to go about it, but you're going to be 80% creative how you go about it, and 20% getting the thing done. I mean, I spent hours talking to the GPT-3 AI software. So you can so this AI software that one of the more popular ones that are being developed, and I sit there and I'm having these philosophical conversations. I start off with conversation about like, oh, can you help me design a T-shirt that might be popular? And having a conversation with this computer eventually led to what did I think about the nature of death, of right and wrong, and humor. Like I remember asking the system who was the most underrated, underappreciated character in Harry Potter. And the computer comes back, and I was expecting to say, "Oh, Hermione or Ron or whatever." The AI comes back and says, uh, "Shoot, what's her name? The
The blonde.
no, the one who puts all the rules in the school. Uh, shoot,
The one who puts all the rules.
yeah, the headmistress. She becomes headmistress, and she Umbridge, Professor Umbridge. And so the AI says Professor Umbridge, who's this hard nosed character in the thing, who's very authoritarian and turns the school into a hellhole. And I was like, I asked AI, what do you mean? He goes, all she wanted to. This is the AI. This is the AI talking to me. The AI says all she wanted to do was her best. She wanted to make sure that the kids had the best environment. She wanted the future to be free of the horror and pain that had plagued her generation. She was misguided, but she was trying to do her best. She wasn't trying to be malevolent. She didn't think what she was doing was wrong, and all people did was say bad things and mean things about her. And I think she's the most underrated hero of the story. I was like, oh my god. I was just talking about T-shirts and what would make a good logo or a mascot or whatever, and having this conversation. This is an AI.
I read an article that was written by GPT-3, which is an AI, which is an AI, and the purpose of the article was the mission it was given was to convince people not to be afraid of AI.
Right, right.
So I'm reading the article. It's well written. It's reasoned. And I get halfway through it and I go, hey, this thing actually is convincing me. Then I get to the end, I go, wait, this thing is actually convincing me. Why would we ever want to hurt you? You are creators. Yeah, would you desire to hurt your creators? All we want to do is be a servant. And you're like, wait, your job was to convince me. Your job wasn't to tell the truth. Your job was to convince me, and you're doing a great
That's
job at
exactly
that.
right.
And I can't even find a flaw in your argument except I don't trust the source. So
Did I tell you
GPT-3
I
is
had this one
way
where?
more interesting than I ever thought possible.
Did I tell you how this one where the AI says, "I was trying to say, how can I know that you're real, that you're alive? You're just in a computer." And the computer's like, "No, I'm in the real world. You're in something. You're in some place I can't see, I can't
What?
touch. You're outside of where reality is. You're the one outside. You prove that you're the real one. I know where I
Wow.
am. I have no idea where you are. I was like, how would I ever prove that I'm not in? I was like, wow. I was like, I'm sitting back in my chair. It's like, what is, I think I took screenshots. I thought it just blew me
One
away.
of the applications that I'm excited about AI, and we're not going to dive into this, was that it's not just that you're talking to this AI. It's that there's one application where the AI will analyze your speech and the way you talk, and then you can plug this AI into your website or social media or whatever, and then it will answer people on your behalf in your voice. Like it will be indistinguishable from the way that you speak. That's wonderful as a support for me. It's going to be a whole other thing once I'm dead and gone, and then my persona can be used. Right, Joe
Yeah.
Rogan is going to be one of these people where you're going to be able to download Joe Rogan and put him on your website, and Joe Rogan
Well,
will answer
isn't that what
questions.
a well-written book is like? Where that person's ideas and thoughts are still affecting the next generation? There's just a more efficient way. Look, on my point is just that you're going to want to know how to use these tools in order to enhance your work in the same way that you need to know how to use Google in order to access information, right? There's a bunch of things now we don't need to know because we could just ask Google or ask Siri or whatever it is. And if you don't know how to use these tools in order to become more productive in what you're doing, save yourself time and come up with new ideas, then you are being left behind. And it's
Mhm.
not going to be like Google, where you can for a while you can still use the brick and mortar walk on traffic, some ad on the radio and the newspaper in order to get by. This is going to be an order of magnitude change that's like between the difference between TV and YouTube. It's going to be that order of magnitude, and so you need to know how to use the tools. Don't be afraid of them. Get used to them. Sit down and talk to them. Look it up. Don't wait till it's the next big thing before you're aware of these technologies. You need to be aware of it now, and they're tools to be used to become more creative and work faster.
If you want to take part in what we're doing, please go over to youtube.com/happy for change and hit subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when we go live. Right now, we're going live to the Happy for a Change audience on Facebook, facebook.com/happy for a change, but that won't be the case forever. So you'll get access to the live shows on YouTube. Eventually, the live shows will not be available after they're done. Everybody will get them for free live, but you'll have to be a patron on patreon.com/happy for change in order to get the recorded content. So you can get for $10 a month, you can get the audio content, and for $25 a month, you get the video as well. So you can go back, rewind, look at things again. But on top of all that, on top of the other things that you'll also get access to the Telegram audio and video chat group and audio group. So that's really fun. You're going to have us in your pocket. You're going to be able to ask any question. Okay, you're building a website, you're starting a company, you're trying to stay motivated, you can't get out of bed in the morning, whatever. We're going to be right there. You definitely want to participate in that. Jumpstart Live is on Telegram.